just my own. Like as you said, this place here is quite isolating and it's really perfect for the job we're about to do. I think it's good not being at home and seeing the hype on TV and in the papers. I really haven't felt like we've been training for an Olympic Games. It's just felt like we've been over here for a training camp and grinding, and I mean, now it's starting to feel real. I think once you're in an environment where there's team meetings and you're talking about logistics and the village, and I think about this time next week I'll be in my bed in the village, I think that makes it feel real. But I'm really just trying to swim the best I can every day and keep a really relaxed mindset, and know that I've done this before, so I'm just trying to be as relaxed as possible.
How isolated have you really been? Is it just the hotel and the pool, or do you get to go into town? Do you get out, or...
Honestly, like the most exciting thing we've done is try and go out and find a good coffee. We're very spoilt back home. I'd say the pod machine is the winner at the moment. It's been hard to find a good coffee, but that's been the most exciting thing really. I mean, getting our nails done on the weekend is going to be a great day out. So really it's just been training and resting in the day and just trying to capitalise on having no distractions. I think back home there's still a lot of life going on while you're training, you know, with your personal life and your professional life outside of swimming. So it's good to be here and just totally focus on swimming, which is it's a nice environment to be in. Yeah, there's not much room in your head for anything else other than focusing on the task at hand. I think if you let external noise come in, you kind of get off track where you need to be. And for me, I have a massive program coming up with a lot of expectation on myself, from myself, and I know the Australian public. And I think if I let you know, external factors enter my mind, it's just exhausting. So I really just think about swimming as fast as I can. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether it's at the Olympic Games or at state championships. I'm still going to try my absolute best, and that's how I think about it. Yeah, I definitely think as an athlete I've grown a lot in 3 years, and as a person I've grown more, and I think mentally I've got so many learnings from the last Olympic Games. I know that this is going to be different with it being with big crowds, which I'm very, very excited for. But I think as an athlete altogether as a whole, I'm in a better position than 3 years ago. As an older athlete,
that's a warning to the world.
Yeah, you can say that if you like, but I'm being honest in saying that I think I've prepared the best I ever have for a swim meet. So more than anything, I'm just excited to see what I'm capable of. At the end of the day, of course, I'm racing for our country and for the swim team and for myself and my family, but it's about trying to get the best out of yourself, and that's why I still swim, because I believe I've got more in the tank. And so that's my goal at these games, just to try and get every skerrick out of myself and see what I'm capable of.
You've never ducked any challenges. Is there any sense of disappointment that both Katie and Summer have pulled out of the 200?
No, not really. I mean, my toughest competitor I train with every day, so that's a massive task in itself. And there's still an incredible field in the 200 freestyle. I mean, I know that Siobhan's going to be there. There's other women that are going to create an incredible final for us. The fact that, you know, those two have had to pull out, I don't think changes anything for me. It doesn't change the way I want to swim the race, or doesn't change anything for me really. My job is just to get into that final and give it a red hot crack.
Does it give you a mental boost maybe for the 400 that you've got them running scared?
I don't think so. I think both of them are in events that I don't do, which clash with the 200, and I can see their decision making and why they've done what they've done. But 400's day one, everyone's going into it fresh, no one knows what forms anyone's in, so I don't think it really changes anything.
How are you feeling generally about the 400? That is your baby.
Yeah, I'm just really excited. For 400, I feel like out of all my races, know how to race it the best, and I'm just excited to see what I can put together on the world stage. I think the boost you get from racing in high pressure environments is exciting, and I haven't had that since Worlds last year, so I'm excited to see what I'm able to put together, really. Like, I don't think about the result or the magnitude of what an Olympic Games is. I just think about putting together 8 great laps.
What kind of mood is Dean in at the moment?
Dean's been relatively relaxed, to be honest. For him, he's switched on, he's ready to go. I think he's excited. And I think just like an athlete, as a coach, been to an Olympics before, he now has experience as well in these situations. So he's actually very relaxed, which is nice. He's actually not even watching the Origin. He wants to stay nice, calm and collected, or he'd get too hyped. But yeah, he's in a good mood lately, so that's good.
We're hearing a lot this word today, relax. It's important, isn't it, that you guys relax and then keep it in anymore?
Yeah, because I think if you start worrying or getting anxious or too nervous now, it just burns energy that's unnecessary. So there's no point worrying about any of that now. All we can do is put our best foot forward every day at training, rest, eat well, stay in a positive mindset, and it's no magic solution, no magic wave of the wand. It's pretty simple, and yeah.
Do you think that relaxed mood is a key difference to maybe going into Tokyo, where there was all these external factors making it such a different experience?
Yeah, I think COVID definitely made it harder to focus on the task at hand, because there was so much external crap we had to worry about, like masks and social distancing and close contacts, and not having to worry about any of that is a nice reprieve. We can really just focus on what we're here to do, which is swim fast.
Do you think that will have an impact on performances?
I hope so. I think maybe our focus can be more streamlined, but COVID feels like 10 years ago, so I really don't think that any of us are worried about that anymore.
Do you think the beds in the village will be up to scratch? Like you spoke in Brisbane about being in your own bed and it being a comfortable environment. How do you plan for what could be to come in the days?
Well, I actually found them quite comfy in Tokyo. I wasn't silly, like a few of the boys there, I think wet towels or drink bottles made the base a bit wet and their beds started to collapse. But I think the beds are pretty good. You know, we've got mattress toppers, we'll be fine. It's an Olympic village, everyone's in the same boat. The conditions are never perfect, but you got to make do with what you got.
I want to ask about the 800. We know you'd love to do really well in that, and you have done in the past. Like, how do you see that challenge, particularly given where Katie's at the moment?
Yeah, I think that it's an exciting race for me. I still am not happy with how I've swum the 800 this year. I feel like my training hasn't reflected the race that I've put together in the 8. So I know that Katie is an unbelievable 800 swimmer, the best ever, and she will certainly be a challenge to challenge in that race. But I'm going to put my best foot forward. It's the last event of my program, and I really want to go into these games and leave nothing in the tank. So I'm just excited to see what I can do in all my events.
Molly was emotional after the 200 in Brisbane. You guys obviously train together and travel together and everything. How do you balance that bit about wanting to beat each other but also retain a friendship?
Yeah, I think we just, to be honest, we don't train together. She does a very different program to me. She does the sprint program, I do the distance program. So we hardly ever cross paths. So there's not really much opportunity to compare or verse each other in training anyway. So it's just as if I was racing anyone else on the team, really. So I think that's good. Dean does a really good job of managing that, and it's not just Molly and I, there's other people. You know, she has to race Shayna in the 100 as well. But I think I don't look at any of my competitors as competitors outside of the water. I try to look at them as the person they are, and I think that makes it easy to really keep things civil.
How much time do you spend to do that?
Not much, to be honest. I haven't really, in my early days as a swimmer, or when I first made my mark on the team, you could say a lot, like, because she was the one I had to beat. She was constantly on my mind, but honestly, not really, because I know that my best foot forward is the best. So I'm just going to do that, put my best foot forward, and hope that that's enough to win. Yeah, these have actually lasted 5 weeks, so shout out to my lady at home. But I think I've got a bit of a superstition. I think I've been undefeated in the 400 since 2019 internationally, and ever since then I have had gold sparkles all over. So I've got to keep it the same. Bit of a superstition, so hopefully it works. Fingers crossed.
Summer broke your world record last year, but then when she got to Worlds, she didn't perform and missed out on the medals. I guess there was a lot of conjecture that she might just not have handled the pressure. She's a year older now. What do you expect from her?
Oh, I totally expect her to be near world record pace. I think what happened last year was probably a blessing for her, learning to perform on the big stage under pressure with all three of us there. She's so young, and she probably hadn't been in an environment where the pressure was like that on her. So if I was in her shoes, I would have tried to take as much from that situation and that race and learn as much as possible. And I'm expecting her to come in and definitely be a challenge to me.